thank you everybody for being here. I'm Kerry Hamblett. I'm the president this year of the Tyler Area Builders Association, and I'm so glad we're able to host this. I was only like 4 years old 20 years ago, so I wasn't involved in it. Yeah, I might have been selling. Yeah. So, but anyway, I think I joined the association at about '08, so I kind of missed all this. But man, this is cool, and I know as the Builder Association, we're really proud of it, and I can't wait to hear some stories. And Jose was telling me to go look at the thing on YouTube, and there's like 16 interviews and whatnot, so that ought to be interesting. But I'm going to call him up here because he's the man. So come on up, sir, Jose Feliciano.
Let me tell you how this all came about. Let me just say it this way. I'm at the Texas Motor Speedway, and I'm having Coors Light. We're going through these motorhomes, and I saw Steve showing this video that you're about to watch. And when he showed the video, I watched it. I said, play that again. And he showed it again. And I said, every business principle I learned in business is in this story. And they go, what do you mean? I said, well, there's collaboration, teamwork, efficiency, time management, motivation, inspiration, leadership. I need it all in that story. So I asked Brian, I said, Brian, if you don't mind, if a year or two later, I said, if you tell the story, and I'm just going to put all the leadership principles inside the story. So I want to ask you, I want to challenge you. She's about to play it. It's about a 3.5-minute video. But I just want to ask you, what do you see? Y'all yell it out, whatever the word is. What do you see it has to happen, the magic behind the scenes, to pull this event off with 579 volunteers in Tyler, Texas, which I think is the best place in the world. And so, but play the video, and y'all tell me what you see when you actually look at not just the house being built, but what had to happen, the magic behind it. Go ahead, April.
On a normal autumn morning in East Texas, the countryside awakens to the sounds of birds singing and crickets chirping. On October 1st, 2005, the morning sounds were anything but normal. On this morning in particular, East Texans heard the sound of planning, the sound of organization, the sound of teamwork. On this morning, thousands of spectators heard the sound of a new world record. At 8 a.m. on October 1st, 2005, years of planning were put to the test.
On your mark, get set, go! 2 minutes. We'll go back and review everything. Renee Bennett called the time, said everything inside was done. All meets code, so we're good to go.
What was so neat about it is you have all these trades out there that are strong competitors that compete against each other every single day. I've been in meetings where there are 8 to 10 strong competitors sitting down at the table, all working together, you know, all business and everything, competition aside, and they're sitting there trying to figure out a way to make this project happen. And you know, the records, world records will come and go, but the friendships that this project and 2 Hour House did will last a lifetime.
Everybody go around the horn. Everybody is involved in this. Kristen up here just kind of talk. If you like to put on stop, let that to you, person. So, because in such a long way, 20 years later, we apply these principles in our business life or personal life in some way. Chris?
Well, I mean, I remember when Brian, so if you guys know, this kind of came about because of Conaway's consultant at the time, Chuck Shin, had shown us the San Diego video where they did it in almost 4 hours. I can't remember the exact time. And his whole point was, you know, what you can do with teamwork, good systems, you know, and really drilling it into all of our heads, you know, go back, continuous improvement, and those kind of things. So, you know, it was like, wow, that's neat. And then it's like, oh yeah, we need to try that. I'm like, what the hell? And I know Steve had a few words about it too, like you're nuts. Anyway, so, you know, through it all, Brian took this on, and of course, at the time, we still had a company to run too, but my small part was, I was a chairman of the garage door committee, and if there's any overhead door company people here, thanks, because it made it real easy for me. They just jumped on it, did it, met it within their time limit, even beat it, and it was like, all right, good, that's, you know, we're done. But there were so many people like that, that was all they, you know, just focus on this one thing, you know, to get the complete build in the end, you know. It took all those people coming together, thinking through those things, in each little part. So it was pretty neat. So thanks, Brian.
Yeah, I thought Bryant was losing his mind when he first started talking about doing a house in 2 hours. And he was the president at that time, and I was vice president. And when he come up with this 2 hour house, I said, what's a bad actor father? I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. But some of these same guys that you see, they got together and they helped me. And we built a house in North Tyler and gave it to a family. So, Brian, thank you.
Well, I guess you want to know what I experienced out of all this, and it was what I really enjoyed the most was how it brought everybody together. Because a lot of people, competitors, builders, all the subcontractors, are all about their company, what they're doing, and making their money and doing their thing. And what was neat about this deal was it's like they released the anxiety and the competitiveness and all of that, and we all got to wrap our hands around each other and make something like this happen. And that's what was cool for me, you know, through all this, was being able to work with everybody like we were able to do and make this happen the way it did. So that's one of the biggest things that I experienced, Jose, on that. Thanks, Brian, for everything.
The other thing I want to recognize too is there are several people in this video that I saw, you know, if you watch the full video, that aren't with us anymore. And, you know, that's sad to look back and see those guys aren't with us anymore. But, a couple of real positive things about it is, we have, a lot of you don't even know, but like we had we sold the video as people have bought it all over the world, watching and using for motivation tool or whatever. And we actually had a professor that ended up with it in the University of California. And he called me up and he was like, hey, I want to write a chapter in the mathematics book about the 2 Hour House. Is that okay? Wow. And I said, sure, absolutely. So he actually wrote the textbook up, and it's a big, thick mathematics textbook used in the college. And we have an entire chapter on the 2 Hour House in it. And
And I talked to a guy today from Wisconsin, and he said it was in all the building classes and colleges. That's
Right.
really it.
yeah, so it's being used all over the place that we don't even realize where it's being used to. We motivated a lot of people and touched on lives. Like I said, it all happened because of everyone in this room. So thank y'all.
When Brian and Steve came to Dickie Shillab, the late Dickie Shillab, and I, and talked about it and says, look, we want to get concrete that sets in about 22 minutes. And we just, and I know, and Dickie was in the concrete business many, many, many years. And we went to work. We failed miserably. We failed on the day of the practice house. We figured out why we failed, fixed it. The day of, we run the truck. Yeah, we could not even employ the concrete out of the truck. Is stuck. Concrete stuck in the truck. And what happened was, so it's a proprietary mix. It's copywritten. It's trademarked. So I can't say a whole lot other than it's a lot of cement, a little bit of water, and a lot of chemical. And so we made the mistake of introducing the chemical at the concrete plant. Well, we only had one concrete plant at the time, and it was in Central Tyler. It was Transamix Concrete. It's now Mark Marietta. And it's a 30-minute haul without red lights through the South. Well, we didn't take into account there was red lights. Even though it was 5 a.m, we still got stopped by red lights and so forth. So anyway, the time ran out on the chemical, and it just stuck. We thought we put it to sleep with chemical for 30 minutes, but at 31 minutes, it's done. Okay. So we had to switch gears. We had to change the story. We had to change our approach, and so we took the addition of chemicals out of introducing them at the plant, introducing them on the job site, and then we called our friends at the Pilot Police Department for police escorts. So instead of a hearse going through town with the police escort, you had 8 ready-mix trucks, except for 9 ready-mix trucks. So we got it all fixed. But, it was a learning experience of collaboration. And at all the meetings that Brian had, we had as many or more in-house. And to say that there was a lack of communication, there wasn't. But we never got frustrated with each other. We figured out how to collaborate and make this happen. But we were really thrilled when Brian says, hey, I think that we can give you an extra minutes. Ready? So 23 minutes, but we still got it in 22 minutes. But I'll tell you, and I'm honored to be a part of this. This was a great project. This was 20 years ago. I've since came to my senses and left the concrete business. But in fact, I answered concrete questions today from the customer that I sell brick to. So I still had certifications, I still have wisdom, and I still, I still answer, and I still love the concrete business. And this project was one of the reasons why I love it so much, is because you take all of the moving parts and put them together like a jigsaw puzzle and make it happen. You figure out a way to make it happen. Brian being the most patient, I knew that if he set his mind to it, we were going to do this. There was, once he said yes, we'll go, and so we had no choice. And, the late Dickie Shillab would love to be here to share about this, because he believed in he believed in his team, and he encouraged. And without him, we wouldn't have been able to succeed. So I want to give kudos to Kim because he was a big mentor to me 20 plus years ago. So thank you, Brian. This was fun. Jose, for putting this on. I'm just an honored to be here.
This would have never happened if it wasn't for Brian. It was his vision, and he put it together. I thought he was crazy too, but he put it together and made it work. And it's all about the moving parts, and he kept it together. And, kudos to him, man. Good memories, Brian. Thank you.
I was at the Rotary in Burleson, Texas, and there's probably 100 people there. And of course, you guys know my parents are deaf mutes. I talk sign language faster than I could speak. So they wanted me to tell my story, but they also wanted me to tell a 2-hour house story. And what's funny about that meeting is right before the meeting started, they were talking about raising $15,000. And it was kind of a low-keyed. But when I got through telling them the story about the 2-hour house, showed the video and all that stuff, they were talking about raising $150,000. They were more excited about the $150,000 than they were the $50,000. There is a big deal about collaboration and teamwork and leveraging each other. There's a spirit about that gets people going. And Gloria, one thing that Steve just pointed out, one thing I interviewing everybody, you were the communication hub. When people got down, you lifted them up. When people were complaining, you got them straight. You did. It was an unbelievable orchestrate. And I'm telling you, for me personally, I learned a lot. And it's funny that we were talking about it, it's just a house. Everybody goes, well, it's just a house. But to me, it's a simple metaphor because we all have a house, which is our life. We all have a house, which is our community. We all have a house, which we're running our business. It's the same process. You begin with the end in mind and you work backwards. To me, it's the same process, but it's a metaphor that we all can relate to. And I think that people can relate to the house story because we all have a house. And if we can inspire and motivate people in the future to be proactive and live life on purpose, that's what it's all about. Brett Galloway, do you have anything to add? Go ahead.
No, I mean, I think bits and pieces of what everyone has said is actually happened. And I remember what Randy was talking about, the failures. That was the thing that impressed me the most was the failures, because when the first test house failed, it was like an absolute critical moment. It was the defining moment in my opinion, because what happened after that, because half the people walked off the job, what happened after that was the most critical. We all got together, we met, and we figured out, like Randy was saying, how to overcome these challenges and the problems that we had. And this was just the main problem. There were problems all the way through the whole process, trying to get the timing and everything right. But it was at that moment when we all came together and we met like crazy for the next couple of weeks, figured out how to fix the problem, and went it back in there and made it happen. But it's the tenacity. Most people get knocked out and say, "That's it, we're done. We're not gonna try anymore." And it was just like the teams that were there that continued through the process were there, and they just stood back up and they figured it out. And
So some did quit after that?
Yeah. Half people walked off after the first night. 10 hours we practiced first facility. We were practicing. Right. Yes, that's supposed to be a world record. Yes. But there were a lot of people that gave up. There were a lot of people that gave up at that moment. Said this was crazy. I can't believe blah blah. And so that's the reason why I say that was a critical moment, because that was when we all came together and we figured out how to fix the problems. I wanted to say too, if you hadn't been to the website and seen all the podcasts of different team leaders and stuff talking and telling what they remember and everything, you need to watch that. It's pretty neat. It's amazing, all the stories and everything. I don't know if you're still doing that. If anybody wants to do it that hasn't done it. Yeah, if you guys are part of it, you want it to be really cool to see everybody's perspective 20 years later and what they took out of it, what they remember.
I just want to take this opportunity to say a big thank you to everybody during those wonderful years. those wonderful TABA years from about 98 till about 2007, which were, in my opinion, magical. I just really want to appreciate and give a shout out to Brian and Brad and Gloria. And I'm going to miss a lot of other people, but I just really appreciate your trust and faith in me during those times and all the growth and wonderful things that we did together. I'm going through the memory lane today and thinking about all of them. So I wish I could be there with you, but I wanted to just tell you how much I appreciate and love you. And I hope to see you soon.
And so TABA, I believe Gloria said, there's one thing that Gloria covered that I think, I'm learning, so you tell me if I'm correct. But y'all became the 4th largest Texas area builders association in Texas when this project finished. Is that correct? And you talked about I remember a big ass event, whatever you called it, every year. No, it's what was it called?
Mother of all parties.
The Mother of All Party. And
And I just remember
a Mother of All Parties. And could you talk about that? What the deal was? And just explain the group. I don't know if y'all still do it now. Do we still do Mother of All Parties? Explain what that was about.
Are we going to talk? You could do a big ass part. Well, you had to sign up a member to go to the party, and we tried to make it a big party, and with all the food and everything we could get, and poor Steve had it at his place a couple of times. But people would join just to come to the party, which, that's okay on me if you want to be a member and come to the party. He's our president. And we ended up with 700 members. And a full birth. Now, before this day.
Lord, this day. So, having said that, we, Doug here, that did the videos and helped us with videos, put together this last video, and it's for TABA. So when you see how this, y'all use it however you want to. But go ahead, sir.
I have seen where TABA's very involved on the state level. We've got at least one state president in there. We've had several. But one thing I always noticed when we went and got around other local builder associations, nobody has the DNA that Tyler has, where we all do come together. We enjoy being around one another. And till I heard a few people talking about competition coming together and whatever, I mean, I'm sitting over there thinking, golly, that's probably where it came from, because this was 2008. So we are still getting the ROI off of this, or reaping the rewards. So,
hey, Libby, thank you for being involved and being so open in this right here. You put it together. I thought it was great. You guys, you take this and run with it, but go ahead and play it. And you kind of see
Anything's possible if you put your mind to it and put a team together. Pretty much everyone in the Home Builders Association was involved in it.
Everybody started seeing themselves as part of a bigger team than just their immediate trade.
Everybody knew about Tyler. Everybody knew about Tyler.
And that's the year that we passed Fort Worth in our membership drive.
Great job.